some great play. But I'll tell you what, between these two, Stephano and Jaedong, no matter who wins or loses, Alex Garfield wins 100%. The evil emperor.
Doesn't he? He's got a caster on board, Stephano and Jaedong.
People haven't seen him on camera, but he's actually grown. Did you know he's 7.5 feet tall right now?
I heard rumors.
Yeah. He feeds off the souls of gamers, basically.
Yeah, there have been sightings in Canada, apparently.
He's more powerful. Yeah, well, he's so tall, he's sometimes just in Canada when he stands up. That's the way it works. Go ahead. Take it away from my terrible, terrible joke.
Okay, I'm going to do this while making sure the scoreboard is
oh, you're doing that. Okay. I'll introduce the players then.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Top right-hand side, equaling up the score, making it interesting. It's Evil Genius's Jaedong.
And his opponent in the top left-hand location of Habitation Station, Ladder Edition, the defending champion of Lone Star Clash 3. That is the right way to say it. He is Stephano.
I love that with Jaedong's English, I can't tell if he's saying I love you as well or he also loves Jaedong. Both are equally understandable and possible at the same time. So no love lost between, or no, that means the opposite of what I'm trying to say. Both these guys love each other a lot. They get along really well.
That's great to see. I like that. Great to see.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is such a fascinating series when you consider it as a whole. You know, Jaedong type in some words there in game 2, or was that, whatever game Stephano went for those, the Heavy Storm host play. He's like, are you having fun, or something like that? Yeah. Stephano's like, yeah. And then, you know, the next game, a lot of mutual respect in the Ling-Bailing Wars, which is really fun to see, and Stephano getting the win there. And then in the next game, Jaedong pulling out the Storm host and kind of showing Stephano how he loves to use them. So I feel like there's a lot of mutual respect among these two guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Setting up a really exciting game 5 here.
I'll tell you, I've actually grown in respect for Stephano throughout this series as well. I truly, I guess ignorantly expected this to be a pretty strong 3-0, a very quick, 14-ish minute game each time, just a putting down. So Stephano once again shows that he is one of those talents that truly deserve our remorse when he's, he said he's retiring, and even now he kind of shows us what he's capable of. But at the same time, it's admirable, not to get too far up on my soapbox, but I like that he came into esports, he conquered, he had a great time, he saw the world, he made a lot of money, and then he said, I'm going to go get a doctorate now. I'm going to go back to school, I'm going to be a responsible human being, and he deserves people's love and admiration. He's a great talent.
He's pursuing his a degree in mathematics.
Yes.
Actually. So, no, I think it's pretty cool. Any time, personally, I see, and actually I can kind of relate to it too. I'm currently in college. I'm currently taking classes at Texas A&M, and, trying to make some casting in too. I just think it's really cool seeing Stephano really branch out and try all the things he likes doing. And I think, he has his own style, and he's still able to maintain a very high level of play, and that's pretty cool. And it just goes to show what potential is out there for StarCraft 2 play even. I mean, if Stephano is able to make this magic happen, who knows what kind of talent we're going to see as this game proceeds forward.
That's not a bad point. He is a bit of a natural talent in a game that, that's almost a controversial thing to say. Like, what is talent in a gaming world? But Stephano's kind of living proof that that probably does exist. We see a very similar opening for both players, speed and gas. Of course, Jaedong got the hatch first, which is the favorable opening, and then Stephano opted instead for the pool first for the safer opening. But again, we've said this before and we'll say it many times in the future. Here we are with very, very similar openings. Although it's going to be Evolution Chamber for Jaedong inside the base, whereas in the past, this has been a Baneling Nest. Stephano sticks with that Baneling Nest, and he's shown that he'll scout out and try to figure out if he can do something with this Baneling Nest. So that Evolution Chamber, to me, is a very interesting moment in time. There it is. It's going to be the Carapace upgrade, which does empower Ling-Bailing if we get there. It's also a nice utility upgrade because obviously it helps your roaches. But it makes you have a slight soft underbelly if you don't make a Baneling Nest pretty quick here against Ling-Bailing.
I think he has a drone getting ready to.
Yeah, he's waiting for 50 gas. Yep. Oh, yeah, okay. You thought about it.
Banelings out. And this means that Jaedong is kind of wanting this game to stay in the stage of Ling-Bailing for at least a little bit longer than usual, to take advantage of that early Carapace, which will definitely favor him in the Ling-Bailing battles. Doesn't want to engage before that Carapace gets out too much because he really wants to take advantage of that. So Well, we'll see what he kind of formulates. I'm feeling he's going to, you know, maybe try to take a faster third and use Lings and Banelings to protect that while being aggressive across the map. That's what I'm getting the feeling.
You know, I'm jiving with what you're cooking. I like the idea of him doing this to capitalize on it aggressively.
Yeah,
and that could be economically.
Yeah,
it could
I
be
mean,
with
the map
faster
control.
third.
The map control might be the biggest part of it too.
Yeah, this Overlord will get cleaned up. Oftentimes that Overlord dies so that a player can clear the path for a timing attack behind it. It's obviously never a bad idea to do, but here we go. Jaedong pulls in, sees Lair, sees a lot of Lings coming out, but he sees Lair, and that's actually a really important tech to have witnessed, if you will. It means that Jaedong probably says to himself, I can apply this pressure. But as I say that, he too is going for Lair.
Ooh. Yeah, being safe there, I think, with that Lair, doesn't want to fall behind in that timing like he did in that, I think it was game 3. But we're seeing a lot of Lings, we're seeing a lot of Banelings. Carapace is about to finish, so I think he's gonna push out with a bunch of Lings and Banelings, immediately take his third, and then move across the map to deny the third of Stephano, and maybe see how aggressive he can get.
A couple of odd Baneling detonations there, neither super critical. No player lost, you know, droves of units or anything like that. Very curious to see where this goes. We see an evolution chamber added for Stephano as well as Roach speed, so it should very well be just, you know, a ranged Roach opening. Jaedong behind in his third, but not so much so that we look to that to say that he's, you know, anything worth complaining about, I suppose. And I'd like to see him at just, nope. Wow. I was going to say range attack, but no, he's going to go into Spire again.
I feel like I like that.
Yeah, I typically like Spire, but in this case, it's so much easier to defend. Like, the Queens have creep already to the third. Just a couple, you know, 3 Spore Crawlers, and you're basically locked down, and it's a medium-sized map, so if you get out a number of Hydras, you can hit a pretty sick timing with that.
I think a big part of this is Jaedong really wanted to keep momentum on his side of the board, making these decisive decisions in this early stage of this game, getting the Carapace, getting that map presence with the +1 armor Zerglings, and he wants to keep that up. He doesn't want to fade into a passive playstyle, immediately getting the Spire, forcing Stephano to essentially make all the reactions, and hold on a second.
Oh, wow. Stephano either misclicked or misjudged, but he pulled back into his natural. No, he's not going to lose the third with very low health. A lot of Zerglings coming out. Normally that's very scary, but there's already a handful of Roaches out. Oh, it's just going to be a counterattack all day long.
Look at this. This is how Jaedong plays. He wants to be everywhere on the map, and little does Stephano know there's a Spire following this up. Okay, he does know. He just now found out. But we see Jaedong sprinting into the main with Zerglings, tracking down a Queen, tracking down drones. He's in the natural as well, but Stephano doing a decent job handling it. But at the same time, he's having to prepare for those mutas. A Hydrogen, as you mentioned, is not anywhere in sight.
And this delay is going to cost Stephano. I mean, he's way up in supply, but we saw this before. The Mutalisk will cut down those Roaches as they come across the map, and Stephano basically has to do it, so he's just going to lean out and go do that anyways. But he gives them away, and we see an Infestation Pit immediately go down for Stephano. This time, at risk of being wrong for the 1000th time in this ZVZ series, I really do feel like that's for Infestors. It's going to be, instead of Hydras, it'll be Infestors as his response.
Okay, Stephano is going to forfeit these Roaches, going to try to take down this hatchery. At the very least, it's buying himself time to get the sufficient defenses back home to deal with the mutas. Let's see if the Roaches can take this hatchery out. A lot of Roaches here from Stephano, and this hatchery is absolutely going to fall there for Jaedong. And let's see, does Stephano go into the natural, or does he retreat?
No, he's going to go for the third, and he should get this third as well. It's just going to be a straight trade, but Jaedong trades better because the mutas will kill all the Roaches.
Wow. Wow, so Jaedong doing exactly what he needs to do. Losing his third, he's like, all right, I'll take out your third. And we see Pathogen lands immediately on the way here for Stephano. So a very kind of weird game state right now. I definitely think Jaedong has a slight advantage because he still has those mutas in the air. And again, as you said, took down all those Roaches.
He's up 30 supply. He's going to get this third. He picks off the, I mean, there's actually a real chance Stephano just dies right now. There are a lot of +1 Carapace Zerglings right now, and there's just a few Roaches to do something about it.
Jaedong coming in.
Scorecard's dead. That's going to be it.
Wow. Jaedong is going to be knocking out the defending champion of Stephano. There's the congratulations and the manner. Jaedong sweating a little bit, but big smile on his face. Taking that victory.
Right. That was a little bit of a, to quote one of my good friends, Apollo, a little bit of a cheeky smile. He's like, hey. You made that close. You made that super interesting. And again, a big tip of the hat to both those guys. That's
great series.
That was a fun best-of-5 ZVZ series. Very up and down. I got worried, though. Stephano beating Jaedong would be a huge upset and big story. But on the flip side, Lone Star is going to have its first other champion.
Yeah.
Someone else has to win now.
Which is pretty darn awesome. And we got a bunch of amazing players that are going to be able to potentially take that title of Lone Star Clash 3 champion. And it's all coming your way, guys. This is Championship Sunday, super awesome stuff. And just one more thought on that last game. I think Jaedong's main goal there was to just keep control of that game, making all those fast decisions, forcing Stephano to react, just making sure that he had all the initial decisions that Stephano's kind of reacting to, starting with the carapace, leading into the mutas.
Yeah.
And Stephano had to react pretty perfectly, but Jaedong just played that a little too good.
Well, I'm excited to get inside the mind of a god
Yes.
here. I believe Anna is on stage with Jaedong now. Let's go for that interview.
All right, let's hear it for Jaedong. Jaedong, you were just looking over at your teammate and saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Do you feel sad for killing your teammate?
이겨가지고 자기 그 팀원한테 미안한지.
미안하고 괜찮을 거라 생각해요.
He said, "Yeah, I'm sorry about beat him, but we are best friends, so he'll fine."
Aw, that's good. So I think maybe Stephano's happy for him a little bit as well. Now, Stephano was the undefeated champion of Lone Star Clash. So now, will you take his title? Will you win the whole thing?
저번 시즌 스테파노가 우승했는데 이번에는 그 챔피언을 이겼잖아요. 그래서 이번에 그 챔피언 타이틀을 자기가 가져갈 것인지.
좋은 기회가 왔다고 생각하고 이번에 꼭 가져갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
Yeah, he says a really good chance for me, so I will definitely take this title.
Sounds good to me. Now, you played 5 games. It was back and forth. What ultimately made you stronger than Stephano?
치고받고 이렇게 해서 5게임 끝에 이겼는데 어떻게 이기게 어떤 마인드 때문에 이기게 된 건지.
그냥 되게 5경기 전부 즐기면서 게임을 했는데 그냥 마지막 게임에 운이 좀 좋았던 것 같아요.
Yeah, he say I'd like to play just like enjoyable because we play with my best friend. But last game, I want to say I get a little lucky for it. That's why I won.
Well, one game that we all watched and were like, oh no, was the Swarm Hosts, where Stephano came at you with those Swarm Hosts. You tried some mutas, you tried a few other things. What do you think you should have done in that game, if anything different?
그러니까 소모스트 게임에서 그렇게 actually what was the question was it?
What?
Can you ask again?
Okay, yeah.
I was a little
So the Swarm Host game, Stephano came out with all these Swarm Hosts. Jaedong tried Mutalist, tried a few things. It didn't work. What could have worked? Swarm Hosts?
소모스트끼리 싸우게 되면은 어떻게 이겨야 되는지 혹시
I don't have idea.
No idea. All right, well, you have a lot of people here who are your fans. Do you want to say anything to them?
Thank you.
Good games, thank you. And thank you, Violet, for translating. Give them a big hand. All right, don't forget there is a raffle going on, LoneStarClash.com/raffle. Win things, all the things. It will be fantastic. We'll bring you some more StarCraft 2 after a short break.